Hi guys, and welcome to Cat Talks. I'm actually going to talk about something a little different today. I'm going to talk about why I use Huel. Ooh, there we go. Why I use Huel to feed myself. So, I actually use Huel, that's how I'm choosing to say it, like fuel, but to fill myself while I'm at work. If you don't know what Huel is a meal replacement. It's in the form of a powder, so it's a bit like a protein powder, but it doesn't just contain protein, it contains everything you need to survive. So if you remember a couple of years back, the newspapers and Reddit and everywhere were discussing if you could get away with eating only one thing, like only one substance, and it would keep you healthy, would you? And a lot of people said no because they enjoy cooking and they enjoy the taste of food. But a lot of people also said yes, and I guess that inspired the makers of Huel to look it up. So Huel is completely vegan. The protein in it is pea protein, and I guess Huel itself proves that you can be healthy and be a vegetarian. Now the guys at Huel are doing quite a few studies to prove that you can be really athletic while eating Huel. I think some guy is doing a couple of triathlons. And some other people are rowing across the Atlantic. I think it's the Atlantic. So I'll link those experiments in the comments below. But the reason I use it is not because I'm any great athlete, as you can tell by looking at me, but because I really hate washing up. No, that's not true. That's a little bit true, but that's not why I use Huel. I use Huel to eat at lunchtimes at work, so I don't have to worry about making sure I've remembered to take my lunch. I don't have to worry about making sure I've remembered to take cutlery. And I don't have to worry about whether or not my lunch is microwavable, because my lunch is put some water in a protein shaker, put some powder in a protein shaker, put the lid on and shake it, and then I have a meal. It's also because the canteen at work, while subsidised, is still quite expensive, and I find Huel to be a cheaper alternative. A friend of mine actually lent me my first couple of meals of Huel, and I really like the taste, surprisingly. I say surprisingly, but I didn't think I'd like something that was just powdered water, and I was still willing to eat it, but it's really tasty. It tastes a bit like a nutty porridge, or an almondy porridge, if you get the vanilla one, which is the one I have. Yeah, that's about the reasons, I guess. It also means that I can change my plans, so if I take something to work, and I keep it on my desk or even in the fridge, it's usually eat it that day, eat it the next day, or else it is gone and you will be sick if you eat this. But with Huel, because it's in a powdered form, it doesn't go off if you choose to skip it one meal because you have to go out for lunch with your management team or with your friends or whatever it is, or even with clients if you work in a client-facing role. It's just a protein shake. You make it 5 minutes before you eat it, and then you shake it for like maybe a minute of that. The washing up's really easy. Like I said, it's vegan, so there is no animal products there to go off really quickly. So you can actually just rinse it out and wash it maybe every 3 or 4 days rather than every time you use it, if you're gross like me. But I do thoroughly rinse it out with really hot boiling water, so I guess it's not that gross. I can't remember what I was going to say here, so I'm just going to stare at the camera for a second. So, I've really liked Huel. Otherwise I wouldn't obviously be making this video. It's made my life a lot more convenient. It's meant that I can go to work with just my pass and I can still complete a full day's work and get lunch and be really happy. At first, I was having a 3-scoop a 3-scoop mix of Huel. At first, I was having a 3-scoop mix of Huel, which is about 700 millilitres of water. But I found that that didn't really work well for me. I was struggling to finish it. So I decided instead to stick to 2 scoops, which they say is a large snack size. And I actually find that that usually fills me up. Sometimes after 2 scoops, if I've been particularly active, if I've taken a run before work or cycled to work, I do need another scoop afterwards, but I find it a lot easier to make sure that the mixture remains the correct not the correct, but the consistency I like if I take a scoop after, and it also means I'm not wasting food. I haven't really had to snack afterwards. I mean, if you followed my blogs before, you'll know that I snack pretty much 100% of the time, but I've actually really cut down since I've been eating Huel. As part of my health kick, which Huel was a part of, but as part of my health kick, I went a bit crazy in a Holland & Barrett buy one get one free sale. I also went a bit crazy on approved foods. Links to both are below. So I have a ton of healthier snacks, like Ryvita, cashew butter, brown bread. I didn't get those from approved food though. I got those from Sainsbury's, the brown bread. And I've just been replacing my snacks with Ryvita or oat biscuits or these things, which are my favourites so far, and fruit and veg. And actually, it's been working really well for me. I can't give you updates on whether or not I've lost weight, or even if I've lost weight. Sorry, what? I can't give you updates on whether or not I've lost weight because I'm not going to weigh myself until Easter. But to be honest, the reason for that isn't just that I didn't want to weigh myself during the experiment. It's also because I don't care if I lose weight. I'm actually approaching this for the first time in my life with a view to just eating more healthy. And I'm really excited about that. I don't mind if I stay the same weight that I am, if this is a healthy weight for me. But, like I say, I've been cutting down on sweets a lot. I haven't had more than one sweet a week for 4 weeks now. One sweet day a week, which is pretty much one sweet a week, actually. I'm really excited about that. And I've been running fairly consistently. And I think Huel and Fitbit both really work together in that. So, thanks for listening, guys. If I have convinced you to try Huel, please let me know. If you live anywhere near to me, or if you live near where I used to live and you know that because you're my friend, not in a creepy internet stalker way, please just ask me to try some. I usually have some around me. If you don't live with me, if you don't live near me, I believe you can order sample packs from Huel themselves. Please use the link below if you do decide to buy, because we can both get £5 off. And I'm poor, so I'm not poor, but any little helps really. Which is why I'm using Huel in the first place. Okay guys, thanks for listening, and I hope you've all had a wonderful week. I'm so glad to be back doing vlogs. And I'll see you guys next week. Also, if you're worried, my tooth, this is a side note for people who care about my tooth. My tooth is a lot better now. It's there was a complication with the root canal, which means that I can't go back for a month because they're worried the infection will begin again. So the root's supposed to be like that. My root's kind of like that, but then it has like an extra little hole here. So I have like a 2-pronged root, which the dentist was not expecting.